Welcome to Soul Connections. The story you're about to hear is one that touches something deep within the human spirit. For centuries, people across cultures and religions have spoken of memories that seem older than their current life. Feelings of familiarity with places they've never visited. Recognition of people they have only just met. And dreams that feel less like imagination and more like forgotten memories waiting to return. Past life regression is a form of hypnosis used by many practitioners around the world, including myself, to explore these mysterious experiences. Some believe it allows the subconscious mind to access memories carried beyond this lifetime. Others believe it reveals symbolic stories created by the mind to help us understand our emotions and relationships more deeply. Whatever your belief may be, the experience you're about to hear is powerful, emotional, and deeply personal. The woman in this story spent most of her life questioning her own sanity. She carried memories that didn't seem to belong to her, feelings of recognition she couldn't explain, and dreams that felt more real than waking life. Eventually, those feelings led her to seek answers through hypnosis. What unfolded during that session would change the way she understood her life forever. This is Kate's story. I spent most of my life convinced there was something wrong with me. Not in the obvious ways people talk about when they feel different. I wasn't depressed, I didn't hear voices, and I lived a perfectly normal life on the surface. But underneath that normal life, there was always something else. A strange familiarity with things I'd never experienced. Memories that didn't belong to me, or at least memories that shouldn't have belonged to me. The feeling began when I was a child. I remember standing in places I had never been before and feeling an overwhelming sense of recognition. Not the casual kind of familiarity you get when somewhere reminds you of another place. This was deeper than that. It was the unsettling certainty that I already knew the place. Not just the street or the building, but the atmosphere, the feeling of it, the quiet rhythm of life that seemed to move through it. The first time it happened, I was 8 years old. My parents had taken me to visit a small coastal town during a summer holiday. I had never been there before, and neither had they. Yet, as we walked along the narrow stone streets, something strange happened. I knew where everything was. Not in a vague way, in a very specific way. I remember stopping suddenly and pointing down a narrow path between two buildings. "There's a bakery down there," I said. My mother laughed gently. "How would you know that?" But when we walked down the path, there it was. A small bakery with a faded blue door. Everyone treated it as a coincidence. Children imagining things all the time. And it wasn't imagination. And it didn't stop there. As I grew older, the feeling became harder to ignore. Sometimes it appeared in dreams. Not the strange, fragmented dreams most people experience, but a vivid scenes from something that felt more like memories than imagination. I would wake up with the lingering sensation that I had just been somewhere else. Another time, another life. In one dream, I was standing on the deck of a ship, surrounded by cold grey water. The wind was sharp against my face, and the smell of salt filled the air. But the strangest part wasn't the setting. It was the feeling of belonging there. I knew the ropes on the deck. I knew the creaking sound of the wood beneath my feet. I even knew the name of the ship. Though, when I woke up and tried to remember it, the name slipped away like mist. Those dreams stayed with me long after I opened my eyes. And over the years, they became more frequent, more detailed. Sometimes I saw faces. People who looked at me with the kind of familiarity reserved for family or close friends. And yet, when I woke up, I had never met them. At least, not in this life. The most unsettling moments were the ones that happened while I was awake. Occasionally, I would meet someone and feel an instant, overwhelming recognition. It wasn't attraction or curiosity, it was just recognition. The kind you feel when you see someone you loved deeply. Except I'd never met them before. Once in my early 20s, I walked into a cafe and froze the moment I saw the man standing behind the counter. My heart began racing. I knew him. I knew the way he smiled. I knew the slight tilt of his head when he spoke, and yet I'd never seen him in my life. The feeling was so strong, it almost made me dizzy. I left the cafe without ordering anything, shaken by the experience. Moments like that began to happen more often. And each time they left me with the same disturbing thought. Am I losing my mind? For years, I kept those experiences to myself. It was easier that way. The world had a comfortable explanation for almost everything, and anything that falls outside those expectations tend to make people uneasy. So I ignored it. Or at least I tried to. But the memories, or whatever they were, refused to disappear. They waited quietly beneath the surface of my life, appearing in dreams, in sudden moments of recognition, in places that felt familiar even though I'd never been there before. Eventually, the pressure of those experiences became impossible to ignore. I needed an answer. Not a theory or speculation, something real. That was when I first heard about past life regression. At first, the idea sounded ridiculous. The concept that memories from another lifetime could somehow remain with us and feel more like something from a novel than something grounded in reality. But the more I researched it, the more curious I became. There were thousands of documented cases, people describing memories that later matched historical records. Languages spoken under hypnosis that the person had never learned. Details about places and events that could be verified later. I didn't know whether to believe any of it, but one thought kept returning. What if this explains everything? The possibility alone was enough to push me towards something I'd never imagined I would do. I booked an appointment with a hypnotherapist. The hypnotherapist's office was surprisingly ordinary. A small room filled with soft lighting, 2 comfortable chairs, and a shelf filled with books about psychology, consciousness, and human memory. It didn't look mystical or mysterious. If anything, it looked like the office of a thoughtful therapist. The hypnotherapist herself was a woman in her late 50s, with calm eyes and a gentle voice. Her name was Marianne. Before we began, she asked me a simple question. Why do you want to do this? I hesitated. There were many possible answers, but the truth came out before I could filter it. Because I feel like I've lived before. She didn't laugh. She didn't look surprised either. Instead, she slowly nodded, as if she had heard those words many times before. That feeling is more common than people realise, she said. Then she asked another question. Are you prepared for the possibility that what you discover might feel very real? I wasn't sure how to answer that. Part of me still believed the entire process would reveal nothing more than imagination. But another part of me, the quiet part that had been whispering my entire life, felt certain that something important was waiting beneath the surface of my mind. Yes, I finally said. She gestured towards the reclining chair beside her desk. Let's begin. I lay back, unsure what to expect. Her voice was calm and steady as she began guiding me through the process. Take a slow breath and allow your body to relax. The room grew quiet. My thoughts slowed. The familiar sounds of the outside world faded gently into the background. And as her voice continued to guide me deeper into relaxation, a strange feeling began to grow within my mind. It felt like standing on the edge of a memory, a very old memory, one that had been waiting a very long time to be remembered. She guided me down an imagined staircase. 10, 9, 8. Each step carried me deeper into calm, quiet space inside my mind. By the time she reached 1, the chair beneath me had almost disappeared from my awareness. Then she spoke again. I'd like you to allow your mind to drift back before this life. At first, there was nothing, only darkness, peaceful and vast. Then something began to shift. The darkness moved, like mist drifting through the light. And suddenly, I felt as though I was travelling, moving quickly through a long corridor of shadow and brightness. The moment stopped, The darkness faded, and when it did, I was standing somewhere else. "I'm standing," I whispered. Dr. Carter's voice came softly. "Look down at your feet. Tell me what you see." They weren't my feet. They were bare, dusty, small. "I'm outside," I said slowly. "What do you notice around you?" The air was warm. Rolling hills stretched into the distance. A small village of stone houses stood nearby. Smoke drifted gently from chimneys. "I think it's a village." I looked down at my clothes, a rough linen dress tied at the waist. My hands looked stronger, darker, different. Then someone called my name. I turned. A man was walking towards me. The moment I saw him, my chest filled with emotion. "I know him," I whispered. "Who is he?" Dr. Carter asked. "My husband." The recognition was instant and undeniable. He placed his hand gently on my shoulder. "Come," he said softly. "There's work to do before nightfall." The world around me felt completely real. But suddenly something changed. The sky darkened. Smoke filled the air. And then came the sound of horses. Men rode into the village, shouting. Chaos erupted everywhere. My husband gripped my arm. "Inside," he said urgently. But before I could move, he turned back toward the center of the village where other men were gathering. "Stay here," he told me. "Don't follow." And then he ran towards the danger. Later, the village was quiet again. Too quiet. Smoke drifted through the streets, and when I found him lying beside the well, I already knew. He opened his eyes briefly. "You're safe," he whispered. Tears blurred my vision. "You will live," he said softly, "and you will love again in another life." Then his hand grew still. Years passed quickly after that moment. The village rebuilt. Life continued. But the loss remained. Eventually I grew old, and one quiet evening, laying in a small bed in the same village, my final breath left my body. And once again, I felt that strange, gentle sensation. Pop. Suddenly, I was floating above the bed. Free. Peaceful. The room faded into soft light, and I realized something with perfect clarity. Life does not end. It simply changes. Stories like this invite us to question the boundaries of what we believe is possible. Are memories from other lifetimes truly carried with us? Or are these experiences symbolic journeys through the deepest layers of the human mind? Science does not yet have all the answers. But experiences like this continue to appear across cultures, generations, and belief systems. What remains undeniable is the powerful emotional impact they have on people who experience them. For the woman in this story, the session did not simply reveal a past life. It brought peace. It gave meaning to feelings she had carried since childhood. And perhaps most importantly, it reminded her that life may be far more mysterious and far more connected than we often realise. Thank you for spending this time with Soul Connections. And wherever your journey leads you, remember that sometimes the answers we seek are not found in the future, but hidden quietly within the depths of our own soul.